All right. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tim. This is another Real Ideal Gear live stream, and we have three of us on here. This is the first time I've had three people on this channel, on this live stream at the same time. We have Paul Whaley, Jim Kinkade.
How's it going, guys?
Channels. Yeah. So this is great. We've been talking about this for a few months. I've had some things going on with my life that I needed to take care of. But this is fantastic. So today we're going to be doing movie character watch recommendations. That's the theme of the show. So we're going to be looking at different movie characters. I got to tell you, the list is really good, really good. And we'll also start off like we always do, EDC photos, any submitted photos by viewers. We've got a couple, or we've got one, and then I've got mine, and then we'll move on because we have, what do we have, 9? Yeah, we've got 9, right? Is it 3 each? Should be 9 if I do the math right.
Yeah.
Public school math.
And we are a movie ourselves. We're the three amigos.
The three amigos. Hey.
Yeah. Anybody remember that little move they did with the hey?
Yeah, that's right.
I can't remember it all.
I haven't watched that movie in a hot minute, and I feel like I should. It's aged really well.
I've never seen that movie.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I don't like Chevy Chase.
Well, I mean, he is kind of a jerk.
Yeah, I just don't. There's only one movie that I thought he was pretty good in, and that was Fletch. And then after that I just don't like the guy. I don't like his
Not
acting.
even like Christmas Vacation or Family Vacation.
It's a little too silly for me. A little too silly.
The Chevy Chase fans are going to jump into the comments.
I know.
You're going to regret saying that publicly.
Oh man!
Not even like Caddyshack.
Nah.
Wow.
Well, Caddyshack had a bunch of other characters.
Yeah, but he's the only guy
ago.
who showed up for Caddyshack 2.
Yeah. Rodney Dangerfield was pretty funny, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember the movie that much. I just remember Caddyshack. Oh, it's Bill Murray.
Yep.
Bill Murray was fantastic. You know,
Eating the Snickers bar in the pool.
Yeah, and then the gopher thing. I mean, the gopher thing is hilarious. And the whole thing, you know, when he was swinging the club at the carnations or whatever those flowers were, that was totally ad-libbed. Mm-hmm. That was not part of anything. He was just out there, and they just turned the cameras on while he was doing it and added it to the movie. Pretty cool. All right, let's get started. We have a viewer submitted photo. This was actually a Best Buy, not at the store Best Buy, but just a great buy. This is from Chris. A Walmart sale. Look at this. $7 for these two Casio watches. $7.
Oh, wow.
I think they're stopping to carry Casios now, and that's why the discounts are insane.
Load up the cart with those suckers.
Hey, you know, Christmas is right around the corner. You know, buy a bunch of $7 Casios, give them out to your friends.
And Chris was saying that. He was saying that he was going to be giving this away to one of them was be given away to one of his kids. So he wasn't sure which one, but yeah, just great. One of them's a vibrate alert. I think that's the one on the left, and then the one on the right, which is the TRT, is mud resist.
Oh yeah,
that's
like highly regarded in the Casio watch community. Both of those are really good. Stock up while they're still available, especially at $7.
Mm-hmm. Man, I mean $7. Like the only other options you have there is like the cheapest of cheap stuff on like AliExpress.
Yeah,
that's like actual garbage, right? Like the stuff that we wouldn't buy as a joke. You know, $7 is half the price of an F91, and these are significantly nicer watches than one of those.
Oh yeah.
By far.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on because we got some cool stuff to get to. We've got. This is the carry that I have real quick. It's just a couple of Casios. Actually, the watch, the yellow dial there, that's one that I purchased a while ago, and I like it. It's Nordic Marine, and I forget Sovern or I forget the name of it is. It's some Scandinavian name, which I probably should have some knowledge about. But
yeah, come on, you're Swedish.
Yeah, exactly. Johnson, hello. But that Civivi Vision knife, I love that knife. I love the deployment on it. There's a little tab. You can kind of see it on the top side of it. There's a little tab. You pull that back and it releases the blade. Just really, really.
So it's a spring assist.
No, it's not. You just swing it open. Just boom, it pops open, let go of that little tab, and it sticks right in place. It is slick. Really slick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I've got the Bastion fountain pen there in the center. Well tool flashlight. I love that flashlight. That might be, I think, one of the best tactical flashlights that is in that AA range. It's a 10. What is it? 10400, 10440 battery in it. Great flashlight. Great.
So the button's on the back.
Yep. It's a tail button, tail switch.
Yeah.
and very compact. It works great. I tested this out with my vest carrier when I was back in law enforcement. It is so user friendly for a vest carrier, which means it's pocket friendly. It's compact. It's just great, and it has a really tight beam, which I'm not a huge fan of for like close quarter stuff, but for a flashlight this small, it's awesome. And then that's the Swiss Army Knife Ranger, which is I've been carrying that so much lately. I love the tool set on that. So yeah.
Do these have toenail clippers on them?
None of them have toenail clippers. Oh, I have the other Swiss Army knife, and that's the compact, or the not the compact. What is it? Classic.
The scissors on those are toenail clippers if you're ambitious enough.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you can. You definitely can. I'm most concerned with the filing my nails.
That's fair.
Looking pretty. I need to look pretty. So when you're out mowing lawns, it's all about your fingernails.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first thing that people notice is the fingernails. There's nothing else.
Yeah. So, any comments, Jim? You have your influence again.
Oh yeah.
The GBDH 2000. That is total Kinkade.
Yep, I got a sneak preview. I knew that Tim had the GBDH 2000. Yep. He spilled the beans on that, so I've been waiting to see that video, and it was a terrific review video. I mean,
yeah, thank you.
Can't say it better than Tim did. And I agree with all of his points, and that's I love the GBDH 2000, so I was happy that you liked it.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is I put it on. Obviously, I put it on at night for the sleep information. I want to know how I'm sleeping. And then I get up and I forget to swap out my watch for something else. So I just wear it all day. So I've been wearing that thing all the time.
Yeah, that's how comfortable it is, know?
Because I usually swap my nighttime watch with a Casio to go to work. Well, I've already got the Casio on. So it's like, well, I guess I'll just keep this on. I don't want to switch to another one. So anyway, it's a great watch. And the one thing I don't like is the notification. I got to get that turned off, all the way off, because it's sucking the battery out. The battery is not lasting as long as it was without the notifications turned on, which is almost like a month or just over a month, which is phenomenal. Heart rate, sleep, O2, all that stuff is great. So, all right. Any other thoughts? Did you guys happen to see the Casio pulsometer video that came out? What a weird watch.
Oh yeah. Well, the funny thing, this kind of leads into what we were doing later, but I was doing some looking at dates of things for one of my movie tie-ins, and Casio has a great thing on their website now where actually you can go year by year for different models they've released. And I saw that watch earlier today when I was looking through their 1990 stuff.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of really strange things. Like they did an anti-digi watch in the mid-90s that was a digital display, and then the analog hands over the entire digital display. So like the entire dial is a screen, but then analog hands on top of that. Yeah. And I saw that one on there. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of cool Casios that they just don't make anymore that they probably should keep making.
Yeah, they do.
They're going to dust off that book and revive some of those innovations of the past. Absolutely.
Well, you think about the technology in the 80s and 90s and how they had all these different kinds of things built into a watch. Now the smartwatch kind of brings it all together. So to be fair to Casio, the smartwatch is this conglomerate of all those watches. So, but the innovation, every 2-3 years they're coming up with something different on the watch. An infrared thermometer. I still don't know why you would buy one with an infrared thermometer, but that is so cool. It's like this little infrared thermometer laser thing that you shine on something and you can get the temperature off of something. And they say it's for sailing. I'm not sure what it's for sailing. I don't know if I have no idea. None whatsoever. So.
Communicate with night vision goggles.
Hey, we can test that. I've got night vision goggles. We can test this.
Yeah.
Do Morse code.
Jim, there you go. Jim, you're going to go down the classic route. I can tell. You're going to go to the classics.
Yeah, you got to, just for nostalgia.
Right.
So what are we all wearing right now?
Oh, yeah. Watch check. Thank you, Paul. All right, Paul, you want to start off?
Sure. So I am Schwarzkopfing it right now. I have two watches on. I'm going to go for the one that I threw on for our live stream. It's hard to see it here. I'll just pull it off. I am wearing the classic G-Shock 6900 Tough Solar.
Yeah.
The one that, Tim, I don't think you've tested this one yet, but I know that you wouldn't like it because the display is rather tiny. Yeah. But it's very 90s. It's very cool. It's durable and it's fun. And something about it that just wears really good on my right wrist. Compared to my left wrist, it wears better on the right wrist.
All right.
So I've been wearing that one here. And the other watch I've had on all day today is one that is relatively new to me, but also new as a new watch. And that is the Momentum UDT Diver.
Oh, yeah.
This is one that you and I talked about months ago. I ended up pre-ordering it.
Mm-hmm.
I wore it during a car accident I was in a week and a half ago, and it survived fine for that. And it's like the Arnie, but a lot thinner, but it has no backlight and kind of bad lume.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool. It's cool.
Mhm.
I like it. It's durable. But it's also just been one, like we've talked about, you throw a watch on at night and then you just don't take it off when you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple of watches like that lately, and this has kind of been one of them. So, yeah.
All right, Jim, you're up. What are you wearing?
Well, I got on the Rangeman
Yeah.
GW 9400 with a DeWalt accents. So this is the GW 9400Y for yellow. And
I like it.
every time I make a review of, one of these newfangled watches like the GPR H1000, there's always tons of guys in the comments that are just like, no thanks, I'm going to stick with my GW 9400.
Yeah.
So I think that the Casio, they made it too good.
Yeah.
They made the GW 9400 too good. And,
Right.
guys like us, we're just like, look at this. Like, all right, that's a perfect watch. And
It
like,
is. Yeah.
and I think like Fireman Fratch, he's a guy who, he's one of those like, no, thank you. I'm sticking with my 9400.
Yeah.
So I had to get it, and I'm gonna pit it against the Mudman, and because that's what everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
Is between the two. I know that you just did a video comparing
Yeah.
the two, and so I'm just testing out the 9400, and I wore it today. I'm helping to coach my son's football team. I'm like a volunteer coach tackling dummies, so it held up all right on the field. So far so good.
I gotta say, when I did that comparison between the Mudman and the Rangeman, the 9400, the 9500, it was like I could have gone either way, and I kind of went old school. For some reason, I just felt like going old school. I love the display in the Mudman, but I just, that was. Some guys are like, "No, you got to go Mudman." I think the majority of the comments on that video were like, "Mudman's way better." I was like, "Yeah, I get it. The display is way better. I understand it." I don't know. There's just something about the 9400 that's just like you're saying, Jim. Like I don't know. It's a classic.
The heart wants what the heart wants sometimes,
Yep.
Right.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
I'm like, again, I should like this one less than my G-Shock Square, but I like this one about as much as it, even though I think it's worse. I can still enjoy it a ton.
Yeah.
I see, Jim, your videos have gotten me looking at all of the higher end G-Shocks. I'm like, I don't have any use for this, but I absolutely should buy one.
Yeah, I'm pushing you up the cost scale, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, I have to get a triple sensor watch because Tim does it, and then I have to get a Mudman or a Rangeman because you've reviewed them.
Yeah, I love the Mudman. I mean, I know I have a lot of bias towards it. I think that when I put it head to head with the Rangeman, I think the Mudman's going to win because I think I have an emotional connection to this one. Mudman, seeing what it went through, but it is kind of like a flip a coin between the two of them. They're both so good.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm wearing, I took it off so I can show you all the IRW 100. I love the design of this. This is what 2000. I think this is the 2005. This is the 2005, early 2000s watch. And
wow.
Yeah, it's just
held on to that for a while, huh?
No, this is not mine. Well, it's mine. I didn't steal it or anything, but I picked this up 6 months ago, 6 months ago, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And man, what a great looking watch.
Yeah. It
has all the buttons on the right hand side over here, and then you got the light button down here. And I just love the look of it. Like it's a Casio that I never would have expected to be a Casio. But it's just really well done. So, and it's also tough solar. It's a wave scepter. So like no maintenance whatsoever. Set it, forget it, keep it in the window every month or so.
Yeah.
And,
they don't build them like that anymore, huh?
Yeah. Just cool design. Love the design. So, all right. Any other quick comments on the watches we're wearing? I love the Schwarzkopf in there, Paul.
Well, I did it for
wristing
the watch meetup that we hosted in Salt Lake
Yeah.
City last week, and the guys were like, "Oh gosh," it's like
Yeah.
this is why I lift weights. It's not so I can be stronger and survive car accidents. It's so that I can wear 2 big watches and not make them seem
Yeah.
all that big.
Yeah.
Yep. You're gonna fill out those watch bands with big wrists.
Exactly.
with
Well,
no
hey,
weight.
I it's funny because I have a Seiko Arnie, which is finally working now, and that's a watch that doesn't feel that big on my arms, but it's like, oh yeah, I forgot to do forearm workouts like 3 times a week.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. You're gonna be like Popeye.
I'm working on it. You know, it's
Yeah.
a goal. It's a goal.
All right, Paul, you're the first one up. Let's get into this. Movie characters. So the challenge for this episode is we have the freedom to pick any movie character we want and put a watch on them, regardless of if they're wearing a watch in a movie or not. We're going to put a watch on them, explain a little bit why, and also have a little fun with the character itself. Paul, Jim, I love your characters. These are great. It's awesome. All right, here we go. Let's go with Paul. Here we go.
So I wanted to kind of dig a little bit deeper for what I liked. And I was thinking about, okay, let's go to characters that people probably know the actors, and they might not know a lot of what they've done. So my first person here is Robert Forster playing Max Cherry in Quentin Tarantino's film Jackie Brown, which is my favorite Tarantino film. It's his least Tarantino film, but it's my favorite of his movies.
Okay.
And for those who haven't seen the film, I'd recommend going and watching it. I think if you're not a fan of Quentin Tarantino, you'll still like this movie because it's not overly talky. But it's about a lady who is an airline stewardess for the crappiest airline in the country. And she is currently smuggling money for a gun dealer from Mexico to California. And she gets caught and she's got jail time. And Robert Forster's character, Max Cherry, is the bail bondsman who's hired to bail her out. Well, they end up working out a scheme of how they can keep the money that's getting trafficked, fool the government, but also fool the arms dealer. So in the film, he does wear a watch. However, it's not a big part of the movie, right? In the film, Robert Forster is at the retirement age for being a bail bondsman. And I'm thinking, well, this movie came out in 1997. It takes place in 1996. What would Max Cherry be wearing? And in the film, it's a very old, like, gold dress watch. It's just, a very nonchalant timepiece, right? But I thought, he's a bail bondsman. We see stories that he tells in the movie about having to, go and get people who jump bail and stuff like that. So I thought, well, what's a cool 90s watch that is not very expensive, but is durable, but it's not a big, giant thing, because Max Cherry's not a character that would wear a giant watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to dig deep, and I'm thinking, what's a watch that I like that I think that this character would like? So that's how I came to what I chose. So we can go to that slide.
All right. There it is.
It's real simple. It's the Casio A168, right?
Yeah,
it's an F91 with a good backlight and a very crappy bracelet. And I think it's perfect, right? You think 1990s bail bondsman, the plot of the film about going and trying to get this money, but fooling everybody in the process.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was the perfect watch. I didn't realize that this watch came out in 1995. I thought this watch was a 2000s thing that they did as a retro line.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was actually a product of the 90s. There's the A158, which is the same thing, but the F91's crappy backlight on there. Mm-hmm. I thought that one was, mid 90s. No, this one came out in 1995. So I'm like, oh, that's perfect for this then. That's a perfect watch for this character to wear.
Nice.
So yeah, it's one that this is the Casio that I don't own this one anymore. I gave it to someone, but this is the one that someone's like, I'm looking at getting into a watch. It's like, look at this one. They're $20 on Amazon. They're great. But also for our little plot game here for the characters, I think it's perfect for this character.
Yeah. That is cool. I like the looks of this one. Jim, what are your thoughts?
I think, Paul, he should be a consultant to Hollywood.
Yes,
to get
exactly.
Period pieces. Like, Paul, this movie takes place in the late 90s. What can you suggest us for a watch? Well, I got one.
Bingo.
Right here.
Hey, exactly.
Because I like how you got it matched the time period perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just throw watches up there. Jim, did you even care about what the time period was?
No,
I didn't either.
no, I was like
just throw it on there.
capturing the essence of the characters,
man. Good for
not
you.
getting too embroiled in the timeline or the plot, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's all right. Paul is raising the average for us. That's all.
You're giving me too much credit here.
Okay.
It's just that my brain's like, I gotta pick a watch. It's at least as old as the movie is.
Paul's the nerd of the bunch.
That is true.
All right, Jim, you're up. Ready?
Yes, sir. All right, Walter, everybody's favorite character from The Big Lebowski. Before I was married, my roommates, they played this movie all the time, and they walking through the living room, you'd hear it, and so we all ended up memorizing it, and we communicate to each other with Big Lebowski quotes. So, anyways, Walter actually wore a G-Shock in it. I think it's the 5900, the 3 eyes, but that one's discontinued. So I was thinking, what is Walter going to wear now that you can't get that 5900?
Yeah.
So I was thinking of the WS 1700 by Casio. Very similar look. All right. And, I think that this one looks great. Really tough, in case someone goes over the line while they're rolling and whoop out his pistol.
Like great,
and
such a great line.
Yeah. And Walter, he practices the Jewish faith. This has a lunar little thing on it. All the lunar holidays down, you can beat when it's Shabbat, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
Perfect watch for Walter.
Oh man, I love when
perfect.
He pulls the gun out. Are we gonna something about the rules? Are we gonna take the rules seriously?
Yeah,
great. All right,
that's a good one. That's a really good one.
I didn't think of the moon calendar and the Jewish faith.
Yeah,
that's a great connection. You're up there in Paul's category now.
Yeah, I didn't think I was a movie buff, but apparently now I am.
Well, the tide part's great too, because when you have to get rid of your friend's ashes, to do it at high tide, so you don't get them blown back on you.
Yeah. Right back onto the dude.
Oh my goodness! All right, I'm up. Here we go. Oh, so this is one of my favorite movies. This is an intense movie. It's called Arlington Road. Have either of you guys seen it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is a conspiracy theory movie where Jeff Bridges is the conspiracy theorist. He's a professor who teaches this kind of stuff. And there is this thing that's embroiled around him that he just is like, wait, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. And I don't want to spoil it because it's one of the greatest endings to a movie I have ever seen. Because when the movie ended, I was just sitting there in the couch like, no way. Great movie. All right. What's the watch for a conspiracy theorist? It's somebody who's got to record everybody that he talks to without people knowing it. So this is the Casio. Oh, where's my notes here? The AV3. And yeah, it records voices. So you can audio record an interview or whatever. You just hit record, and then later on you can hit play and listen to it, and you got your conspiracy theory down. So that's my Casio for the night.
Would it have helped him in the story if he had that?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
See, there's a guy on YouTube who has his entire thing is reviewing headphones and iPods and like MP3 players, and he has a thing where he plays back the recording on the built-in microphones for stuff and see how terrible it sounds.
Oh, okay.
I'm just imagining how horrible the audio quality for this is. It's got to sound like you've got like 4 tin cans strung together.
Your audio band is about this wide.
It's going to sound like a 1920s radio play coming through a couple of tin cans.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. All right.
I love that, though. That's a great looking watch.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun one to have.
Yeah. I saw them on eBay about $140.
Ooh.
So
premium right there.
You want to go down that route and have a vintage, secretly record things. Now, from the law enforcement side, like in Montana, you have to have mutual agreement to record somebody with audio.
Two-party consent.
But you don't have to have it for just video. You can video without audio. Anybody, anytime you want. There's nothing. So
odd.
Interesting. All right. Moving on. Paul, you're up.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a film that I'm sure people have seen. And it's funny because we unintentionally have 2 different Coen Brothers films on the list so far. and it's The Big Lebowski. There's The Big Lebowski's not this. So The Big Lebowski, and then No Country for Old Men. So I'm sure that the both of y'all have seen this film because it was a really big movie when it came out. Have y'all not seen it?
I
haven't seen it, but I've seen the memes of the coin flip at the store. So I feel like I've seen it.
The plot of this movie is really simple. A Texas rancher who, if he was just the only guy in the film, he would be the bad guy. He stumbles upon a cartel shootout in the desert where two different gangs killed each other, and he finds a briefcase packed full of money. And a Mexican hitman's chasing after him. And that's this character played by Javier Bardem, Anton Chigurh. Notoriously, his hair looks so terrible. They made him get this haircut, and I believe that he told the directors, he said, "I look so creepy, I'm not going to have any luck with the ladies while we're filming this movie." So, he looks like that. But the thing is, throughout the film, like Jim mentioned, there's a scene where he's flipping coins to choose whether or not he kills people, because he's like a proper psychopath.
Okay. All right.
And I'm thinking, well, what watch would I get for a proper psychopath? And the thing is, Tim, you're probably thinking, wait a second, we both own this watch. How is it watch Proper Psychopaths? I have rationale. So if we want to go to the watch.
All right. And watch.
I have a photo of a glycine vacuum that I used to own.
Yeah.
The reason why I have it here, this is not the watch I'm picking. The watch I'm picking is something vintage. Because Anton Chigurh is the kind of guy that would just kill someone and take their watch. Throughout the film, we see him kill multiple people and steal their cars. We see him take money from people. Why would this man buy a watch? He wouldn't. He would just steal one, right? Yeah. So my think is my rationale here is he would wear something that he pulled off of somebody, right? Mm-hmm. And the movie takes place in 1980. It takes place in like Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. He's going to wear something that he got from someone that he killed for their car, for their money. So I'm going to go with, you name it, a vintage gold watch, because those were popular in the 60s and 70s especially. Yeah. So I know this is kind of a cop-out choice, but he's just going to steal something from someone that he's killed.
I think that matches up great. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Bowl
cut watch, bowl cut hair.
The haircut is awesome. Yeah. I love that haircut.
So Jim, this is a film you got to watch that movie, Tim. If you haven't seen it before, same with you, Jim. Trust me. Someone left a comment that it's probably one of the best movies that's come out since the year 2000. Okay. It's one that I've yet to meet anyone who's actually seen the movie and disliked it.
Okay,
it's really good.
All right. Well, it's good to get a movie on the list.
Isn't there a Nixon watch that has a coin flip function built in?
I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
Yeah.
Was it a two-headed coin?
It was like
no. In the film, it's a proper quarter or $half coin that he's doing. Huh. There's a scene that people like Jim mentioned has been a meme where he does a coin flip with a guy at a gas station, and he makes a comment about when you put this back into your machine, this is a unique coin now. This is a special thing because it was worth your life. Because he spares the guy's life. It's a good movie. It's very good.
All right. We had a little sneak peek there. I just kind of went past the slide here and showed the next one for Jim. Ready, Jim?
Oh, yeah. Bring it on.
Here we go. Oh, man.
Yep. 1989.
That's Michael Keaton, isn't it?
Yeah. Michael Keaton Batman. I was 9 years old, so I saw this in the movies. And it was, it was epic. It was so amazing in the day, because it was also revolutionary that, that they'd make a movie, like a serious movie about comic books. I mean, now they make them all the time, but back then it was unique. And, there's that line with the Joker saying, "Where does he get those wonderful toys?" So I was thinking of lining up Batman with the good old GBDH 2000, which when I got it, my son Donald, he likes Batman. He was like, "Oh, that's Batman's watch." And, it captures like the whole aesthetic of that Batman where it's all like black plastic, all blacked out. I mean, the Batmobile, it's just all black, just like this particular GBDH 2000. No red accents on this one at all.
Yeah.
And it also has, fitness features, which I think that Michael Keaton needs because, Adam West was really quick to point out that he did not need molten plastic to improve his physique.
Yeah.
Pure West. Right? Michael Keaton could use all the fitness features, maybe, not need any of that molten plastic. So that's why I chose that one.
I don't think Adam West was really into like the high protein steroid, get your muscles as big as possible either.
No.
He was a pretty plain looking Batman, really.
Yeah,
I mean, he did wear his underwear on the outside of the suit, which takes some machismo to do that, right?
Yeah, I have to say I like this one because I love the angles, like you're saying, the Batman angles.
yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
That's a cool looking watch.
Yeah. Now, something about this era of Batman, this was a really colorful series of Batman movies, whereas the ones that are being made now are very dark, kind of grungy as far as like lighting and just the setting, the scenes and all that, versus back in the 80s, man, it was bright colors.
Tim
Joker.
Burton.
Yeah. Tim Burton did it after Beetlejuice and Pee-wee's Big Adventure was Batman. So it makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Next up. Yes. One of my favorite movies of all time. Inception. You guys both see this? Yeah.
No, I've seen memes of it. I've stopped watching
Jim?
movies. Just watch memes.
Okay. It's shorter.
It's a dream within a dream.
Get me to the point right now.
Yeah.
No, this movie, I tell you what, this is a great movie about time travel. Not really time travel, it's thoughts. And so the premise of the movie is that they're able to get into people's thoughts and plant a thought in their mind so that they can take advantage of business decisions down the line, because that thought becomes a seed in their thinking and it comes to fruition. Great plot. And just how they scaffold all this stuff together is unbelievable. So anyway, that's the whole point. So you're going through time travel. It's not time travel. You're going through the thoughts of a person, and these thoughts are in the form of story and of locations that are kind of fictional, but at the same time, it's part of their psyche as a person. So you get kind of a flavor of what their personality is like as well. So it's just a really good thing. So the watch for this movie, Inception, with Leonardo, is the Zenith Defy Extreme. I want you to guess how much this watch costs. Please give me a guess. This is a dual tourbillon, which means those on the left-hand side, usually that's the escapement wheel, and it goes back and forth. The tourbillon goes in a circle and it goes all the way around, and it winds around kind of an inner gear. And there's two of them. So extremely, extremely difficult to build. Guess the price.
I'm going to go $160,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say 120.
Okay, this is like Price is Right. Jim, be smart. High or low? Come on.
Maybe 166.
What'd you say, Paul?
6,000.
I said 160.
160. All right. It's $186,000.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Dave. All right.
Hello.
There's Dave. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have an idea on the cost. $186,000. And it's a chronograph. Okay.
Sure.
The interesting thing about this is that when the timekeeping portion is on, those tourbillons rotate around in that inner gear once every 60 seconds. But when the stopwatch, the chronograph, is running, okay, those go around in a circle in 6 seconds. So extremely fast. So it's like a gear inside of a gear. Yeah, and it will just kind of give people kind of a mental picture.
Orbital is the phrase for that. It's orbital.
Yeah, orbital, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
interesting. So, that's an interesting watch. My only thing, obviously, we're picking for movies. This is a watch that, regardless of price, would never be for me because it's hard to tell the time on it. And that's the biggest sin for a watch is if it's hard to tell the time.
Yeah, it's too busy. But man,
It's cool though.
I mean the engineering in something like this is off the charts. That is off the charts. Like, how do you 50-hour power reserve? Oh, let me give you some stats on this just to give you a little bit of a wow factor here. So 50-hour power reserve, 200 meters of water resistance. It's 45 millimeters across. I already told you about the 60-second rotation for timekeeping, 6-second rotation for chronograph on the tourbillons, and it's a 5K movement. So it's a 36,000 vibrations per hour movement. 5K movement. So, yeah, $186,000. Save your pennies, dimes, nickels, quarters, all your neighbors' dimes, nickels.
Yeah.
Do I want this or a Ferrari?
Oh man, Ferrari all the way. I would never own a watch like this. Never.
You can wear it in your dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He had what was the Murph? Dave. I think this is Dave from Just the Watch. He had the Murph in what was it?
Interstellar.
Yeah,
Interstellar there, and then I think they commissioned a Hamilton watch or one of the watches for Dunkirk. I don't know. I think this is before. I know it in the Dark Knight. Batman wears he wears a JLC Reverso in the Dark Knight.
Oh, he does.
So maybe, yeah. No, there's the part where he crashes his Lamborghini on purpose to try to protect the informant guy in the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
You actually see it, he's wearing his JLC that's got. It's weird. It's like purple and black. It's really strange looking. But no, I think this is before they started putting Hamilton stuff in there.
Yeah.
Comment got me.
That Turd Ferguson, he's
Yeah,
quite
boy,
the troll.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, cool. All
I
right,
know
let's
they made Hamilton watches for Oppenheimer too. They were retro inspired and some retro Hamilton watches.
Okay.
For Oppenheimer too.
I just saw Oppenheimer. That was a great movie.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's a little dry at times, but it was actually really good. So
I've heard positive things.
yeah. All right, moving on. Whose is this? This is Paul. You're up.
So, yeah, so I'm doing today was unintentionally like 90s deep cuts. This is Jean Reno's character Vincent from the great film Ronin.
Oh, I thought this was Mission Impossible.
Nah, because here's my thing. Ronin is a film that was not a commercial success in the 90s, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time because it's kind of just underrated.
Yeah.
But it's a film that had Robert De Niro in the lead and Jean Reno as the side character, the second character.
Yeah.
And then it's got a bunch of really big actors that people know more now. So you've got like Sean Bean in there. And it's funny because there's 3 James Bond villains in the movie playing, characters. So it's funny that it came out when it did. But it has the best.
Just about cars, isn't there?
But that's the thing.
chases?
You've probably seen the big car chase where they go through Paris, right? The film is full of car chases, and that's the big thing. But it's a heist movie, and the thing is, if people haven't seen it, it's a movie that I can't spoil for you because it's a movie that it doesn't matter if you know what happens or not. You're there to see it happen, right? But the long and the short is that a ragtag team of ex-military and ex-government agency people are hired by presumably the IRA to go and get some MacGuffin package, steal it, and then sell it, right? And we have like ex-CIA in the form of Robert De Niro, and of course Jean Reno's playing some former French military guy. But it's a film that every time I watch it, I appreciate it more and more. It was done by John Frankenheimer, who was a big action director in the 70s and 80s. He made The French Connection 2. He made a bunch of other films. Yeah. But Ronin, I think, is the best car chase was ever put on film or digital or anything. I don't think anything's ever beat.
Better than Bullet?
Oh, Bullet looks like a pedestrian walk in the park in comparison to Ronin.
All right. It depends on whether you like American muscle or European sports cars, whether you're going to choose this or Bullet, right?
Bullet's very good. Don't get me wrong. But when you watch Ronin, the final car chase is them doing 2 cars the wrong way through underground tunnels through Paris. And they cut out the music. And you just get to hear car noises and transmissions and gear shifting, and you get to see things explode. Yeah. But what I love is that they put the actors in the front seat of these cars and then had the stunt driver in the back. So when you see the look of terror on Robert De Niro's face, it's because they're actually driving him the wrong way through the tunnels.
Oh my goodness!
And the movie's got 3 excellent car chases. It's got a lot of great gunfights. It's got a great plot, but it's such an easy film to follow. Yeah. Is part of what I like, despite the fact that it's got twists and turns. And I picked the character of Vincent here, who is not Robert De Niro. He's the Jean Reno character. I picked him because in the film we see the watch that Robert De Niro is wearing. He's wearing some form of chronograph from the 60s. I think it was a Breguet or it was a kind of obscure Breitling. It was something. But this is a film where they're always doing something on the clock, right? There's always a heist happening or they have to be somewhere real quickly. And I'm thinking, I want to have a chronograph, right? Well, it's a car movie, and I think something very European looking is what I wanted to go for.
Pick. Yeah.
So that's why I went for the watch I went for here. And it's funny, I went for the Tag Monaco.
Yeah.
Now, this is a modern one. The movie takes place in the 90s, so it would have been something about that period, correct? But they all kind of look the same.
It's an anachronism.
I know I screwed up here, but it's okay. I'm allowed to have one slip up out of
Just
3.
one.
Just one. But this is a watch that I didn't really like it until I've tried a couple on. And Tim, you were there when I tried a couple on back in July.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, I don't want to spend the money that these cost, but I really like how they are. And for this character, I think that the Tag Heuer Monaco, or even a Heuer Monaco from like the 60s or 70s, I think it fits the character. I think it fits the theme of the film. I think it fits a lot of what happens in the film where they're always on a ticking clock to get stuff done. And I just love how it looks.
Yeah.
I've come to appreciate how it looks. And I think that Jean Reno could pull it off. Yeah. Famously, the only movie I've seen him in wearing a watch for, like, the watch is a big thing, he wears a Citizen Aqualand in one of the films he did in the 80s. Like one of the big old Pro Master Diver Aqualands.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but the Monaco, I think, really fits the theme of the film of car chases and heists and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cool. I like the pick. I like the cut. I like the pick. Yeah.
You got to watch the film, Jim. You've seen the car chase. The car chase.
I've seen
Bullet's
the movie.
Great.
Yeah, I've seen the movie. It's like great action, and like if you love European cars, in the car chase of European cars, that's it.
And again, Bullet's fantastic. It's just I did a screening of Bullet with all the Dirty Harry films with some friends last year, and I've seen all the Dirty Harry films and Bullet before. I was just so bored by all of Bullet except for the car chase.
Yeah.
A lot of Bullet is just kind of a dry film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta love that jazz soundtrack too.
That's the thing.
I listen to the soundtrack of Bullet.
Go listen to the Dirty Harry soundtrack because it's the same composer. It's Lalo Schifrin. If you like that,
how do you know this stuff?
Because I have this useless reservoir of information from movies.
I'm gonna have to start calling you Cliff Clavin, man. You are Clavin. You're doing a Clavin on you. That's awesome. The memory you got is awesome. I would say though, my favorite car chase, it's the Italian Job.
Which one?
The first one.
Okay, so the one from like the 60s.
Oh, I'm talking about the updated version.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got good car chases.
What's his name in it? I can't think of the guy's name.
It's not Matt Damon. It's one of the hot guys. Is it Matt Damon? It's one of the hot guys from the 20s or the early 2000s. It's one of the
Matt
big
Damon.
actors.
Yeah, I just thought that was really well done. Sometimes the car chase gets drawn out way too long, and the cars don't get beat up enough.
Yeah.
You got to start beating up those cars and just Oh, it's Matt Wahlberg.
Or Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg, yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Dave comes in to save the day. Thank you, Dave.
See that?
He's a movie buff.
I've seen the old Italian Job more than I've seen the new one. I haven't seen the new one in probably about 10 years.
I haven't seen the new one for a while. It's probably due to watch it again. So
say car chase movies. I had a conversation with someone about car chase movies, and it was watch related too. If you haven't seen the car chase from the French Connection, that one is amazing because it was done without any sort of permits or anything. So it's a fantastic car chase. It's them driving.
Let's go, guys!
It's a detective chasing after an above ground subway car in New York.
Yeah,
and they literally just paid the subway driver $40,000 to just drive the train real quick so they could chase after it. And he's like, I need $40,000 so I can go away to Jamaica for a couple of years since I'm going to lose my job.
Yeah.
And then the same director, it's William Friedkin, who did like The Exorcist and whatnot. He did a movie called To Live and Die in Los Angeles. And that film has a great car chase through like the aqueducts that they have through LA. Right? Like the giant things you see in action films.
Yeah.
They're both really good movies, Dave, trust me.
Yeah.
French Connection's a hard one to watch because it's got a whole lot of very old stuff in there, but it's a good one.
That's Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman and Roy Schneider from Jaws.
So good. I love Gene Hackman is one of my favorite actors of all time. Watching Mississippi Burning.
He's fantastic in that.
Great movie. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he plays so many different roles. He's good in that cowboy movie there too.
Oh yeah, what Open Range or one of them. Yeah. Unforgiven.
And the Poseidon Adventure.
He's probably the only good part of the Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, you're up.
All right.
Yeah, we know where Jim's going with this one.
I got kids. You guys were kids once, and everybody remembers the giant from The Princess Bride.
Oh my goodness!
And so he's a big boy. That's Andre the Giant playing the giant. And I was thinking, what watch has a giant strap that would fit the giant, and that would cause that other guy, the guy with the poison.
Yeah.
You know, you could say, "You fit the giant? That's inconceivable." And that watch is the AE 1500
Yeah.
Walmart special, $22 extended wristband.
Yes.
If any watch is going to fit the giant, it's going to be the AE 1500.
I was thinking a clock, just like
Yeah.
like a leather belt on
50
a
Cent.
clock.
Didn't
Flavor
50
Flav.
Cent were Flava Flav. That was it. Go around with a
Yeah.
clock. Not a pocket watch, a neck watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or an Invicta, yeah.
So I 100% agree. This guy, Andre the Giant, watch some of the YouTube videos of Jake the Snake Roberts talking about him and some of the stuff he had to deal with because of his size.
Mm.
And this is gonna, I'll keep it PG, but he couldn't like poop in a regular toilet. Just so you know, like he had to go in another place, watch the video, and it's like, wow, because he's so big. You can imagine this, like his hand is as big as the head of most people.
Mm-hmm.
That's how big his hand was. So 400 and some pounds. I think he was 7'6" or something like that. 7'7". He was huge guy.
Yeah, that's the WWF measurement of his height. His
Probably,
height's
yeah.
pretty debatable. All the heights listed,
Sure.
subject to some scrutiny nowadays.
Yeah. But Hulk Hogan lifting him off the ground, whatever wrestling match that was,
WrestleMania 3.
You can see his legs just trembling. Get him to the ground as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So awesome. Great movie too. I love this movie. This was a movie I hated the first time I saw it. I don't know about anybody else, but
really,
I hated this movie. It was I didn't understand the humor. It's actually a pretty different style of humor. And then once you get into it, all these little quips and lines and things like that, man, just a classic.
It's a favorite. I really enjoy it. I remember when I was in high school, I lived in a podunk enough place. We actually had like a local family run movie theater. And in the off season, when there weren't a whole lot of movies coming out, like the spring, they would do classic movies, and they used to show The Princess Bride every like April. So we'd go watch it at the local theater, and it was always a fun time. Yeah. It's a great movie.
Yeah. All right, I'm up. Yes, Mr. Val Kilmer, one of the greatest Doc Holliday characters that it's ever been done has been done by Val Kilmer. Like he was phenomenal. Now, the watch I chose for this dude, you had to be. I'm just going to show it. This is from Amazon. It's $19.
Is that a cigarette lighter?
Yes, it'll light a cigarette. It's $19 and it's a USB charged watch. And no way. I was looking at these other watches, like really thin, classic looking. It's like, no, this is Doc Holliday. Flip the dial back, light up a cigarette, and go. Let's go.
This is quite an anachronism. This is like a crossover to Back to the Future 3. You want Dr. Emmett Brown to be like giving this to Doc Holliday, right? The steam-powered time machine.
Oh, man, yes.
How's he going to get the USB charger? Plug it into the horse?
Yeah, Tim, if you had said, try to guess this, this wouldn't have been in like my top 50 guesses. I want you to know that, okay?
I saw this. I couldn't resist. It was like, I don't care. That's why I said, I'm not doing time period pieces at all. This is just too funny. So he could light up on the way. Like, just check the time, smoke them if you got them.
Yeah.
All right. But go ahead.
I'd say is I don't know if he'd look at this watch and go, I'm your Huckleberry. I don't think he would,
And I think so. The watch, this guy right here, I've worn this to the watch meetup, but this watch is legendary now in Salt Lake City for having nothing that works. I mean, I'm sorry, the two watches. There's two actual watches on here. Okay. So you can tell that it's actually a GMT. It's a dual time zone. It's awesome. Exactly. But they're two quartz movements. But then it's got a temperature gauge and a compass, which I'm not even sure. The temperature gauge is in degrees Canadian, and the compass is, who knows if it points the right direction because it's surrounded by batteries. Okay.
Yeah, metal.
Right. Yeah, but then you have these pushers on the side. They don't do anything. They do absolutely. Actually, these two are the crowns. I'm sorry, these two are the crowns. But these top and bottom, they don't do anything on the watch. So I'm looking at this watch, and I'm looking at the dials that are on there, and you kind of think, oh, that must be a chronograph. Nah. You'll be lucky if anything moves. other than the second hand and the hour hand and minute hand. So for 1995 or 97, whatever it is. Yeah.
It is infamous down here. At all the boutiques we went to, they were
Yeah.
you're the only person who they asked to see their watch.
Well, it's like, what is that? There's just like,
You
because
go
it's
to the Breitling
gargantuan.
boutique. Here, hold my $12 Olam. I need to try out this
Yeah.
$25,000 chronograph, please.
Exactly. And the guys, they were inspectors, like, what is this? I was like,
What
yeah,
the heck is
that
this?
actually has a compass and a thermometer, but not in the digital way you might think. It's the little button.
There's
version,
mercury in here.
so. Right.
Nice.
But this is actually his watch, because I saw this, and this is in Glenwood, I think in Colorado. And this was given posthumously, I think, to him because he had died, and Wyatt Earp didn't know it at the time, but he had given this watch to his good friend. So from your friend Wyatt Earp, yeah. So I thought that would be kind of cool. And just for fun, for the audience that's watching, this is Strange Brew.
Classic film.
From the 1980s. Your job is to pick out a watch for Doug and Bob McKenzie.
Oh,
So if you guys are out there, you're watching this, put it in the comments if you're live, but put in the comments of the video, what watch would these two yahoos wear in their adventures across Canada? So
yeah, that's a good one, you know.
Jim, if we gave your kids a fingerprint pad, is this kind of how they'd look within about 2 minutes?
Yeah. They'd be covered in ink and be getting their mug shots taken.
Tim, if you gave me a fingerprint pad, I'd be looking like this pretty quick.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite photos of the whole movie, because they actually go turn to the right, turn to the left, and they're talking to each other. And the banter back and forth between these guys in the movie is awesome.
Yeah, those guys are so funny. Like I've discovered that they put a lot of the SCTV clips on YouTube, which is like where they all kind of got these skits came from, you know?
Yep.
Eugene Levy. With like John
Rick
Candy
Moranis
and all of them.
John Candy, yeah.
John Candy, yeah, exactly. Great show. That used to be on television. You could watch SCTV on television.
I think my favorite part of Strange Brew is Max von Sydow's fake teeth. That just made him wear on top of his regular teeth, so he's talking and he's like, okay, the entire film. It's great.
Oh my
gosh.
Great. All right, so therein ends the movie character watch recommendations. Now, I think we're going to get calls from Hollywood.
Oh, yes.
Probably for copyright violations first, but I think they're also going to ask us, like, where do you guys come up with such ingenious recommendations? Because you should be casting with us, doing the costume stuff, So, but seriously, guys out there watching, you got to give us some Bob and Doug McKenzie recommendations. All right. Well, that brings us close to the end. Now, man, we're faster than we've ever been. So, Jim, you're responsible for this, because Paul and I are usually going an hour to an hour and a half. Usually an hour.
Oh, yeah.
We start ranting and raving for a bit.
Yeah, I'm like the carbon rod. You guys are the nuclear rods. I'm like stopping everything, and a damp blanket on this fire.
So now this is usually where things fall apart and the wheels come off, is when we start just talking about stuff. But and I think it's Pee Wee Herman says everyone's got a butt. So Jim, Paul, what do you got going on with your channels? Anybody go?
Well, I got to tell you that I ordered the Citizen ProMaster Land, the U822.
Yeah.
And I did the unboxing, and there was a chick's watch in the box with the tag for the watch that I bought. And so I got in touch with the K Jewelers, and an investigation is ongoing. And I'm still waiting. Like, I just want my watch, So hopefully I get it, and we can test out the new ProMaster Land,
That was so funny, because your wife was involved in that, wasn't she?
Well, afterwards I wanted to get her honest reaction, and it backfired, because she's like, "Ooh, I kind of like this one." So unfortunately, the one that's in there is like only worth like $250, and the one that I bought, retails for $700. So
yeah,
not an even trade.
No, not at all. It doesn't even come close to looking like it's not even close to it.
Nope.
You know, as far as like somebody returning a watch that didn't belong in the box, like you didn't open the box. There's just no way. Because it's a Pro Land. Is that what it was?
Yeah, the ProMaster Land,
Oh,
Citizen ProMaster Land.
Yeah.
There's a new one that, you know, looks really nice. It looks really rugged. It's like, you know, a combination watch, which is their Digi.
Yeah.
But the one that was in there is like a gold Chicks watch, just a regular Eco Drive, just a regular watch.
You got to check out the video. It's hilarious when you open that thing up.
Well, not for me.
No, in hindsight, for the viewer, it's hilarious. It's like, this guy he has no idea that this actually happened. This wasn't staged at all. Oh man, Paul, what's going on with you?
So, you know, of course, the website's continuing. I'm continuing to have content going up on primerpeak.com. I did a big, this is not a YouTube thing, but more of the website. I did a big walkthrough of the John Moses Browning Firearm Museum last month.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I took photographs of all the guns that they had there, the prototypes, the production guns, all of that. It's all on the website now. It took a long time to edit because I took 100 and some odd photos and all of that. More content, of course, there in firearm and watch related stuff. YouTube wise, though, I've been putting more time and energy into videos, and I did a little first impressions on this Momentum UDT diver that's on my channel, and I'll post a comment down below once we finish up the stream so people can find the channel. Just a first impressions on this because I had it for a couple days by the point that I did the video. And then I did a video on the Arnie since it's working, but apparently people are still having issues with defective Arnies now, which is still a nightmare. So, Jim, this is a fun thing about Seiko, is that Seiko's quality control has been a mess. And the Arnie, of course, is their Digi solar watch. And Tim was privy to all of this happening. I bought one in August. I'm like, I'll go for my first Seiko. We'll get an Digi watch. And it was a solar watch, so when you took it outside, it would factory reset itself.
Oh, yeah. I'd heard you saying you had problems and sent it back and then got another one and that one had problems. I remember hearing that.
Yes. Yeah, I sent it back twice. Eventually, they just gave me a different watch and got it fixed. But it's funny because I did a video on it a week or two ago just to show, hey, yeah, it's working now. Here's what they did to it. You know, some of the pros and cons. Not quite a review, more of like a review's coming, but here's an update for it. And I had people leaving comments. Now they're having issues with them having that same issue in Britain right now.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
It's like COVID. It's going around the globe.
Right.
The Arnie virus.
The funny thing there is that the modules, as I came to find out, are made in China. So,
Wuhan? Is it made in Wuhan?
Hey, I'm not privy to that information.
All right, well, you know.
But yeah, I'll be
connecting
doing
the dots.
I've been trying to push myself to do more video content on top of the writing, so
yeah.
I'll probably have a review on this Momentum out before too long. I still have a loaner watch from Tim that will be getting.
When is it coming out, Paul?
I know. It's truth be told, between hurting my back in August weightlifting and then the car accident I had last month, I've not been wearing my mechanical watches.
Yeah.
It turns out that when your back's creaky and you don't want to do a whole lot of stuff, I don't want to wear mechanical watches. I'm just wearing quartz these days.
Wow.
You know?
That's a symptom I have to watch out for, I think. Put the mechanical watches away if you're not feeling good.
Honestly, it sounds goofy, but it's nice to have a watch that I don't have to go and set it because I didn't wear it for a night or something, you know. But yeah, no, plenty more watch stuff coming out here soon, and on top of everything else I cover. But the watches are something I've enjoyed. So yeah,
so, Jim, do you have any mechanical watches?
No, sir, I do not. I have a few analogs, but no mechanical watches.
Mechanical watches coming your way.
All right.
Tim's going to mail you 25.
Should have shared your address with me.
Yeah.
No,
right.
I've got a couple ideas, and I'm gonna pop that thing in the mail pretty soon because I've got one I want you to look at. That's a Casio. Okay, I need the Casio expert to look at a Casio.
Mechanical?
No, it's a Casio, and it's Digi.
Oh,
so I got that one. Yeah, I'm gonna get you about
Pathfinder.
15 mechanical watches for you to go through.
15.
No. I'm gonna get you one. I'm gonna get you one. I think you might really enjoy it. I really do. So
all right.
It's got to be durable though. It's got to survive.
It's got to survive. It's got to survive the
test.
semi-tractor trailer experience. The diesel and the oil and the I don't know what else you're doing out there.
Something.
So
See, I want to advertise for Jim's channel a little bit.
Yeah.
I was going for a jog last month, and I flicked on one of your random reviews, and it was halfway through. You start talking about this is the fancier watch I wear to church and to go dancing, and you said that the Texas 2-step was too difficult because there were too many steps there.
Yeah,
and I damn near started choking while I was going for the jog because I was trying to hold back the laughter.
I do the Boston 1-step. I can't count that high.
I just sway back and forth.
Yeah.
So if you want good information
Where's my
and a
yogurt?
good chuckle, Jim's channel is the place to go for it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, watch reviews, you get a lot of information out of them, but yours is like I don't usually end with laughing at some point during a watch review.
It's the combination, Paul. It's the combination of, and I've seen this in the comments over and over again. People are like, "Why are you treating your Casio watches like this?" And I'm just like, "They're Casios. That's the way they should. They can be treated that way."
Oh yeah, you get those too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love the combination on on Jim's channel because of that. So keep it up, man. I think it's great. He's tossing stuff around. The box, whenever you get the metal box out, I know it's going to happen.
No,
you just know there's gonna be a lot of clanking happening right about now. There it is.
Yeah. Slap full of G-Shock.
Yeah, and you're slapping the lid down. Oh, it's fun. Fun. And
I love it.
Paul, you're doing. Are you kind of doing a balance now, more of a balance between the shooting and the other reviews? Or are you still more focused on the?
Well, so the shooting and the gun stuff is still the omnipresent thing. But this has been my mindset for years for my YouTube channel. Is I'm not a YouTuber per se. I'm still a writer.
Yeah.
The video content. Sorry, I saw that comment too. The Southie Shuffle. The video content's really there for the shooting stuff to get embedded into articles. So I can link like here's a playlist of testing out ammo or whatever it might be. Yeah. But I'm trying to do more of a split because I think that the watch videos are fun because there's like a good we have like the watch community on YouTube there's channels that have 1 million billion people who watch them, and then there's channels that are smaller that have a very active community around them, right?
Yeah.
People that you see in your comments and they're, like that. So the watch stuff's fun there, but the gun stuff is still important because I've had such bad experiences with buying new guns this year that I've done some videos that have done really well for my teeny little channel with a lot of negative feedback because people are like, my thing works, you're an idiot. Mm-hmm. But then it's I'm showing issues with things, and it's just interesting because you get to have the dichotomy of like the horseshoe of like people who agree with you and people who hate you because you said something that you're not lying about, but they just don't like what you said. Yeah. So I'm probably doing like a 75% gun stuff, 25% watch things. But the watches are more fun for me because I love to experiment with the still photography, experiment with the videography and all that stuff. Again, that's the nerdy part up in here that's kind of getting displayed on YouTube there. I
would think that there's a lot of gun guys that are also watch guys. Like this, as they care about their guns, they also care about their watches, and they usually have both.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have a friend right now who he's a big Tudor fan, and he bought the French Marine Nationale straps for his Tudors, so he could take photos of his French military style Glock with his Tudor watch on there. He's got better taste than I do, I guess.
You're into like French watches. Wouldn't you get? Isn't FN? I might be wrong.
They're Belgian.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
No, it's again. My friend did a deep thing where he found the specific variant of Glock that the French military uses, and he modified his to look like that. And then they used Tudor Submariners back when Tudor used the Submariner name, and then they started using the newer titanium Tudors. So he found the company that makes the strap that's the exact identical one that the French Navy SEAL equivalent uses.
Oh, nice.
And he spent $100 for a piece of fabric. So I've bullied him a little bit over that for the strap, but I'm thinking $100. I could buy 2 G-Shocks for that kind of money.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of overlap between the firearm community and the watch community.
Yeah, for sure, I think.
Cars, watches, guns, it all kind of folds in together.
Yeah.
Is one of the things I've noticed over the last couple of years here.
Yeah.
But it's
fun.
Movie
characters just kind of pop up too. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah. I like how the McKenzie brothers have been up this whole time, like they're part of the conversation.
Sorry, man.
They are.
I get into this mode where I'll leave something up. How do we get there we go. No, is that going to work? That'll work, right?
Yeah, good
Zoom
enough.
Way in.
I don't know if the viewers are going to like seeing a close up of me, but yeah.
There we go. How you doing? All right. Well, any other comments, guys? We are going to wrap this thing up. Let's do this. Here we go. That's the one I'm looking for. Oh, look over at Paul's shoulder. Jim, did you see that?
Oh, nice. That's
Paul,
great.
You got to show him real quick before we head out. You got to show him the
adjustments
you can make.
It came with this. I have a remote, so I can change the colors on there. I can put it in seizure mode, so is it going to start strobing, flashing? Yeah, it's flashing through.
Oh yeah.
This was what $13 at Walmart buys you.
Right.
No way. Yeah, you can get two G-Shocks or that signage.
Right.
I know, right?
and
now that it's strobing, I can't turn that off.
That's a tough decision. 2 G-Shocks versus that sign. Flashing lights.
I would go with the 2 Casios.
Would you?
That was not an option when I bought the sign, though.
I don't know. The sign seems pretty unique. It's an attention getter.
It is, but the best part is I can change whatever's on the marquee there. So I could have put like a bunch of emojis on there because it came with emojis. I can put my X-rays from my back from yesterday on there, and we can have that during the next live stream.
Oh yeah, let's see them.
You can see how all the bones in my spine are doing this right now.
Man. Oh, that's too bad. That is too bad.
Yeah, that's brutal.
It happens. It happens. I've never had a car accident before, so my first one in 14 years of driving, I had to get flipped over.
Wow.
So
like a turtle. You got turtle.
Yeah. And now I own a car that every time I tell people what I bought, they make jokes about it.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm a Subaru owner now.
Uh-oh. Ooh.
I know.
Watch out. Any other things going on, guys? Any comments? Anything else? I'm thinking we're kind of at the end.
Well, should we tease the concept for the next 3 amigos?
The next 3 amigos. So we're gonna figure this out. I think we're gonna have it in a couple of weeks, maybe sooner. Not maybe sooner. Right, a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, something like that. And it's gonna be dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah,
the NFL. We're gonna go down the road of the NFL, and we're gonna be talking coaches, players, anybody that has anything to do with the NFL.
Yep.
We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna have some great combinations. I have a feeling this might be even a little bit more crazy than what we just.
Oh
did.
yeah,
I think this is going to
be rowdy,
and we may have to increase the number to 4 because I think 3 was pretty good, but we can go a little longer. So if we go at the pace we're going at, we can go 4, and not get people too, I don't know, glazed over. So
I'm going to pick a watch for Bill Belichick.
And I'm going to go to the XFL to find some stuff.
Ooh, should we include XFL? All
one season
arena football? Do all arena football? Do anything that's paid football? CFL,
college football.
Doug Flutie.
Are there Japanese football teams? They like baseball in Japan. Do they play football over there? Can I pick some Japanese?
Well, Europe. They're always going to NFL's going to Europe to play football. So you got to think thgot to have something over there by now. They went to Brazil this year. Who played in Brazil this year? There was 2 teams that played in Brazil. Come on, Jim.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh man,
I don't know who played in Brazil.
Well, anyway, there was 2 NFL teams that played in Brazil this year. I can't remember who it was.
It must have been compelling enough for none of us to watch it.
Exactly. Yeah. I know my beloved Vikings are playing in Europe. Or is it England? I think it's England against the Jets, and I don't know when they're going to do that, but so the Vikings versus the Jets, and Vikings are 4-0.
Yeah, look, they're looking good, and then Aaron Rodgers is not doing so hot, huh?
No, he's not. He's struggling a little bit. I think he's still getting his first year under his belt, so that happens. Jim, what's your team? You got a team?
Yeah, the Patriots.
The Patriots. How are they doing this year?
Not so good. It's rebuilding, and they aren't the same Patriots that they used to be. Yeah. So
it's about time.
Hard seeing that transition, but hopefully they iron everything out because I've been a Patriots fan since before the dynasty when they were bad back in the day. So
back when Belichick was coaching them, or no, who was it? Parcells? No, Parcells. They went to the Super Bowl.
Parcells brought them the Super Bowl in '97, and then the guy from Seattle, the Seahawks, was coaching them for like a season.
Oh, that's right. It's not Dave. It's he was the USC coach, and then he went over to Seattle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I can't think of the guy's name.
Yeah. I mix it up, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, yeah. So, all right. Hey, that's
Somebody.
what's going to be NFL. Next time we're on, we'll advertise it again. The three of us, the three amigos, will hit it up again. We'll have some fun with the NFL. So,
Oh yeah.
all right. Any last comments? 3, 2.
Make sure to brush your teeth tonight. Everyone's watching.
Brush your teeth. All right. So you guys take
told me
care.
that before.
Thank you to everybody who's watching, also watching after the fact. You can fast forward the parts that get a little bit too long, but I don't think there's any parts of this one that's too long.
Or they can slow it down. Put it at half speed. And it'll be
Repeat.
very, very strange to hear us talking.
Right. All right. Everybody take care. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you again next time.
I'm gonna remember who that coach